introduce, this is Kaya Mblawa, and she is from the University of the Cape Town. So she's giving us information on how we can do business with the University of the Cape Town. So I'll hand over to you, Kaya.
Thank you, Nyasha. Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Kaya firstly Mbulawa. I'm the purchasing analyst for the University of Cape Town. My responsibility is loading suppliers on the system, on our system. So I manage the registration of suppliers. I also manage the master record, which is the database that we use to load our suppliers in. So I do have a presentation that I've prepared for you guys, just to make it a little bit easier and more fun for you guys, so that you can understand what me and my department, my team are doing. Okay, so questions and answers will take after my presentation, and then we can do all I can take the questions and answer the questions as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share the presentation. Please make notes, or if you want to ask questions, you can just add them to chats, and then I'm looking at chats. I will then answer you guys based on that. All right, here it goes. All right. This is the University of Cape Town. So when I take on process. So what we do is the structure, when it comes to the procurement structure for the University of Cape Town, is decentralized. That means that each faculty and each department decides who they want to buy from, because they are the ones who do their planning, yearly planning, and then also see what they need across the year, what they will need and who they will need it from. So that is where they choose who to buy from. So we, as the Procurement and Payment Services Department, we provide support to the university. We also ensure that whoever that we put on our system is compliant. We also facilitate the registration of the suppliers on our system. So I am part of the vendor management section, which within the Procurement and Payment Services Department. So what we do is, our role is to facilitate supplier registration and vetting. We ensure that suppliers are compliant in terms of BE certificate, in terms of tax clearance certificate, and industry-related documents or registrations. And we also support the university's sourcing needs, and we also advise the internal and external stakeholders on universities' finance policies and procedures. So that is what my role, me and my team's role is within the biggest space of procurement and payment services. And then there's now a tender section, which is also another section, which within the Procurement and Payment Services Department. So what they do is they facilitate the tender process. So once they advertise the tender or request for quotations whatsoever, and then once a tender has been awarded, whichever company that won the tender will then be transferred to my department so that we can start their registration process. So that's how it works. So how to do business with UCT? Basically, that is the question that has been asked today. How do you do business with UCT? Firstly, the setting criteria. The first one is usage. There has to be a UCT department that intends to do business with you as a supplier, for you to be registered as a vendor. And then the second thing is there has to be a payment that has to be coming to you as a supplier from us, from the university, for you to be on our system. And then whichever department or UCT that has contacted you for quotes or for whatever, if they are happy with your quotes, then they will then initiate your registration. then we create a record for you on our system. So that is how we as a university, that is how you do business with the university. There has to be someone, a department using your services. There has to be someone that wants to pay you, a department that wants to pay you. And that particular department or faculty has to as the vendor management and facilitate your registration process till the end, till you get a file or a record on our system. Then we can start doing business with UCT. So that's how it works. And share some facts with you guys about how our master record looks like. We've got 9,000 registered suppliers. I oversee the 9,000 vendors and the more that are being processed. And the average 1,000 suppliers registered and used in the past 3 years. That is a fact. That is, we've registered and we've used new suppliers, an average 1,000 suppliers in the past 3 years that we have put on our system. And we have also increased our supplier development. We groom and supply and develop our suppliers that are already registered on our system. And also, we've got a big pool of suppliers per commodities. For example, catering, we're sitting at about more than 50 suppliers for catering. So, and so on and so on and so on. So, how then do you do business with UCT? How do you get your foot in the door? So, what we've come up with, you need to introduce yourself to the university. And how do you do that? You need to provide the university with your business profile. That's number one. That is where you start. That is where you start to put your foot in the door so that you get known by those departments or by those faculties that are looking for services, that are looking for goods. So you must provide your business profile to procurement. What we do, we will match your profile with the potential department or faculty that might need your services or goods. And then I need to just making sure we are giving you guys the platform to manage and market yourselves within the university so that you can be able to quote should you be required to. People can have your profile on hand should they want more services. Or actually, that is what we are actually giving you as SMMEs. And then, so contact details. How do you then send us your profile? You need to send us your profile to vendor@uct.ac.za. Ensure that in your subject line, you must save introduction business profile so that we can put those aside so that when we do our processing weekly, monthly, so that we can match you to the departments or faculties that may need your services, then at least you can find your profile easy and send it off and put it aside so that they can find it as well. And then for tenders, if you have tender queries or any tender queries, you need to send an email to tender@uct.ac.za. That is for tender queries. Please note that tenders are advertised in the Weekend August and specific community newspapers. So that is how our tenders are advertised. And then basically that's how you do business with UCT. Okay. All right. So are there any questions or anything that you guys would like to know? I'm here. That's why I'm here. That's why Nyasha invited me so that you guys can ask me questions so that I can answer you, because this is a platform for you now to find out how you can actually get to do business with us.
Hello, lady. Andre Maloya, can you hear me?
Hello. Hello, Andre.
You
Yes, I
disappear
can
from
hear
time
you.
to time, and also I think just about most
All
people
right.
joined a bit late because we were stuck in another meeting, and then we only got this information right now. I hear,
All right.
I'm very excited, and I hear what you've got to say there. The question is, you say that we basically, to start the whole process, would be to basically, obviously, vendor at uct.org.za, basically, put on your business profile, you will match that to a specific sort of like area where you might require our services as per se. The question is, you've got all these different types of
That's correct.
faculties that is around, and for me, my question would basically be, would it not be easier if we get a list of those people in those departments or those different faculties, so that we can perhaps then get direct with them and say, hey, you know what, health department, I've got syringes, would you be interested in that type of thing? Just to make it a bit more, because the way I hear it, I see you've got to sell your company to the different faculty before it even gets to you guys, and then, you've got to build that relationship with that person in that specific faculty. I don't know if I'm right
That's
or
correct.
if I'm wrong.
That's, yeah. Andre, you are right. You are correct. The thing is, even if you go through via the procurement process where we are asking you to send us your profile, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot market yourself within the university in terms of approaching other departments or faculties that you may know. In terms of us giving you a list, we can't give you a list because all that information that you are asking for is on our website. All the our faculties and departments information is on our website, which is www.uct.ac.za. So you just need to go in there. Every department, every faculty is listed on there. So you can just get a contact number and then send them an email or call them and then find out how you can then start actually introducing yourself to the university. Basically, it doesn't stop you from doing that as well. You can also market yourself instead of waiting for procurement to match you to a department or faculty that requires your services.
Thank you.
I have a question, please. Hello, I'm Fabrice from Laurel Hopper. Hi, I want to just check with you. What is the turnaround time once one has submitted the business profile for you to be matched to a particular department?
The thing is, currently it's a new process that because we find out that most suppliers want to do business with UCT. So it's basically a new process that we have come up with to try to assist you guys, to assist suppliers, especially SMEs, to try to get them at least one foot in the door. So the process, we haven't actually thought of how long is it gonna take. What we can do is what I can tell you is, I think we will do this thing on a quarterly basis because remember, we've got other responsibilities as well that we have to deal with. So I think relatively quarterly, where we match the supplier to a department, where sometimes a department will call procurement and looking for certain services, and then we can then refer or recommend a list of not one, maybe give them a list about 5 or 4. Listen, we have been approached by these people. They've got a profile. This is their profile. Contact them for a quote or whatever. So basically, it's a new decision that we have made recently where we're saying let's assist small suppliers out there who wants their foot in the door. So that is what we are doing. Currently, we haven't thought about the turnaround time. I can't give you that a direct answer as to how long is it going to take. But what I can tell you is that relatively a quarterly a year.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Any questions?
Okay, Melissa. So
hi, Melissa.
Hello. So
hi.
You said the process now would be to email vendor at uct.ac.za and then just send the business profile with the business. That's it.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melusi. I see Klikizo had her hand up a long time ago, but I can't seem to get her on. Klikizo, do you have a question?
No, when I had my hand up, earlier, it was because your voice was disappearing a lot. So I felt I'm missing a lot of important information.
All
But
right.
having said that, I did get a lot of important information. So I got what I needed.
Okay, thank you so much.
My comments were just that you've said what the process is and we'll follow.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other question?
Sorry, Kaya, I have to come in. So we've got another session starting in 5 minutes. So we can't take any.